Where does profit come from? There are three legitimate places profit comes from: economy of scale, distribution of labor, and comparative advantage. Economy of scale you could observe this way. If you had a tailor cutting one shirt, he would have a certain amount of scraps left over. But if that same tailor cut 10 shirts on a bolt of cloth, he would be able to arrange it so there were less scraps per shirt. And the profit from economy of scale would be proportional to the amount of savings in scraps. As far as distribution of labor goes, if you had 5 tailors industriously making shirts for a month, they would each be able to make a certain number of shirts. But if they pooled their work and one person specialized in collars, one person specialized in buttons, one person specialized in cutting them, one person specialized in ironing them and stitching them, and one person specialized in packaging them, these same 5 tailors in 1 month could produce a larger number of shirts than they would if they individually worked. The profit available from distribution of labor is proportional to the savings in the number of the difference in the number of shirts they could produce more in the same month. Comparative advantage is more like if you lived in the Ozark Mountains, you would have difficulty growing wheat. The weather wouldn't suit it, but you could have Angora goats, and you could have goat milk and goat cheese and Angora sweaters. Whereas if you lived in the Kansas Plains, it's bad weather for goats, but it's excellent weather for wheat, and you could grow wheat very plentifully. And it would cost you less in effort to generate the wheat and more in effort to grow goats in Kansas if you could at all. So it makes sense for the Ozark Mountains and the Kansas Plains to trade goat cheese and Angora sweaters and goat milk for wheat. That's the basis for trade. Beyond that, though, as far ago as Xenophon in the Greek history, they observed that when soldiers were fighting a war, if everyone got a fair share, then the smarter soldiers would hang back and say, let's see if Mikey likes it. Let's let him go take the risk, and we'll just divvy up the spoils equally. But if the general allotted or apportioned spoils according to the risk and merit of the soldier, how much danger he endured and how much initiative he showed, then certain soldiers were rewarded more in Cyrus's army than they were in other people's armies. So capitalism employs this. We capitalize on opportunity to our best advantage, and we charge what the market will bear in the regard that we want to reward the initiative of capitalizing on an opportunity well. We don't redistribute opportunity. We don't take opportunity from one person and give it to another. And we observe greed to be the motivator for industry and hard work. And we like that in capitalism, greed is front and center. Greed exists in socialism. Greed exists in communism. Greed exists in kingdoms. But it's hidden away in the dark corners. In capitalism, greed is front and center, and we say greed is good because it motivates work or it motivates industry.